Hi, this is L. Charles Ledger. Just here to give an update, what I'm working on, and and this is not a maturity minute, so just an update of my 4 projects that I'm working on. The first one is Sophie's Playlist, about a journalist who falls in love with an architect while she is doing a review on his interesting house collection, and discovers an ex-wife in each one. Despite all of that, she falls in love with him. Find out what happens by going to Kobo and look for Sophie's Playlist by L. Charles Ledger. The next project I'm working on 3 other projects. One is a play for my church, Christmas play for 2027, Christmas 2027, and it's turning into a combination Christmas and Easter play. So if you come to the Christmas play, you'll want to watch the Easter play as well. So, and the Christmas play is all the positive things that happen up until Jesus becomes a teenager. And it's from Elizabeth and Zechariah's perspective, John the Baptist's parent. Okay? And just the birth of Jesus and the foreshadowing of what happens in their life later on. The third project that I'm working on is a science fiction. Thinking of I don't have a title for it, but I'm thinking of calling it Second Blade. And it's a science fiction story about a priest in a dystopian universe, where the priests give sacrifices to these planet maker gods, and if the sacrifice isn't sufficient or done properly, or the priest has been doing some bad things like sins according to those gods, the priest will die in the sacrificial shrine and have to be pulled out. And so it's like being pulled out from the Holy of Holies. So I'm just bringing that in. I don't actually state that properly, but anyways, this priest that I write about is looking for relationship with the gods, and then he discovers that that's impossible because they're not really gods. They don't really exist. But I'll just leave it at that. But in the end, he starts looking for a god that he's heard about from the distant past of Earth, who is all about relationship. Okay? And we know that as the Christian God, of course. The other project I'm working on is a nonfiction book called Built Whole, about helping men go through the maturity stages of growth. And so we sometimes end up being 60, 50, 60, 40, 50, 60 years old, and discovered that we need to go through a few stages of maturity. And it's a way to help people maybe go through a stage of maturity that they didn't. It's a very powerful tool in psychoanalysis, and it's not for everybody, but it's certainly very powerful. So if you're experiencing anger or something like that, you might need to go through the stage that some infants go through, for example, of feeling love just because they exist, all right, and with healthy parents. So if you didn't go through that, that might be the reason that you're experiencing anger and frustration with some aspects of your life. All right, so and then it just covers the maturity levels that you go through from there on. And so that's what I'm working on. So the one thing that's available for you to watch or to read is Sophie's Playlist. And I'll just go to Kobo, Rakuten Kobo, and search for Sophie's Playlist by L. Charles Ledger. All right, have a happy day.